Good evening. I'm Lisa Broom with the CBC Evening News. In our top story tonight, Prime Minister Mia Mottley has announced a 26-member cabinet, which she says is necessary to ensure Barbados's economic recovery is done in the best possible fashion. Ms. Mottley made the announcement in a press briefing at government headquarters on Bay Street this afternoon. Prime Minister Mottley will be Minister of Finance, Economic Affairs and Investment, and she explains that the cabinet will be large given not only the party's mandate, but also the scope of work to be done and the level of expertise available among the members of parliament.
Since I will be holding ministers to very high standards of efficiency and productivity, I have therefore opted to share the workload across a significant proportion of the parliamentary group rather than conform to the theory of a small cabinet, thus creating an unrealistic setting for members to function effectively and to produce in this prevailing environment. Given the dire state of our economy and the tremendous work that will be involved in rescuing and rebuilding this country, the salaries of a few extra ministers is relatively insignificant, given that there will be tremendous savings from the containment of wastage and the curtailment of corruption in my cabinet.
Prime Minister Mottley also announced the layout of the upper house. She says since the Constitution does not provide for the appointment of opposition senators in the absence of an opposition leader, an urgent amendment will be made to change this.
We have discussed the need for an urgent amendment of the Constitution to allow the opposition political party securing the highest number of votes to recommend 2 appointments to the Senate, because we believe that even though there has been no official leader of the opposition, my government would wish to have accommodated the views of the main opposition party that secured the largest amount of votes. In this instance, we are effectively speaking about the Democratic Labour Party.
The new cabinet will be sworn in tomorrow afternoon in a public ceremony at Bay Street, and they will take up office on Monday. Now, you can hear the full list of ministers, parliamentary secretaries and government senators when Prime Minister Mottley's statement is aired directly after the CBC Evening News here on TV8 at 7:30. Regional grouping CARICOM has extended congratulations to the new Prime Minister. Secretary General Ambassador Erwin LaRocque says the overwhelming victory clearly indicates that the people of Barbados have tremendous faith in Ms. Mottley's ability to lead the country to even greater heights. Ambassador LaRocque says he is looking forward to Prime Minister Mottley continuing the leadership role that Barbados has exercised in the community and as lead head of government in the quasi-cabinet for the CARICOM Single Market and Economy. He says he's also looking forward to welcoming Ms. Mottley to July's meeting of regional leaders. A University of the West Indies professor believes that Barbadians voted for a change of government due to the serious economic challenges facing the country. Professor Rosemarie Bell-Antoine of the UWI's St. Augustine campus says she was not surprised with the historic and resounding win by the BLP, or even with former Prime Minister Fendel Stewart losing his seat.
I knew that it was going to be a landslide because, you know, the economic frustration and frustration about the economic situation in Barbados has been extremely real for the past few years, and most Barbadians would not have ever have experienced anything like it. So there was a clear desire from what I could have seen for change, and that's one level of it. So that I don't think it was surprising to me at all. It's not the first time we're seeing it. We saw it in the Bahamas. You know, we saw it in Grenada. So it's only when there's a swing, it's only those very strong prime ministers who would have a personal, I suppose, people still have a lot of personal respect for them that could manage to hold on to their seat.
Professor Bell-Antoine also commented on how Prime Minister Mottley conducted herself during the elections. She noted that Ms. Mottley carried herself in a dignified way despite the many criticisms.
I also think Mia Mottley has grown in the public eye, has matured. She seems to have conducted herself very well with a certain amount of maturity. She didn't respond to all of the, you know, the mud that was thrown at her and so on. And at the end of the day, people placed their trust in her, and she did overcome. And you were right, I remember that. If you recall, it was her own party leader, Winata, or former party leader, that up to recently was saying, she can't run the country, and a lot of it has to do with her sexuality. So I think it's important that we said, and we see that the Caribbean has moved forward a little bit in that direction.
We'll have more news after this break. Stay with us. Close in life and close in death. That sums up the experience of two cousins who are among three people who died in two separate accidents yesterday. Motorcyclist Omar Chase of St. David's Village, Christchurch, and pillion rider Lamar Small of Edie Village died on the spot after colliding head-on with a motor van along Foursquare Road in St. Philip. The motor van was driven by Wayne Cummings of Packers Valley St. Patrick's. Omar's sister, who spoke to CBC off-camera this afternoon, says she is shocked by the news. She says the father of six will be dearly missed.
His son now did the common entrance, and I don't know how we can get through this, but we gotta get through it because his children love him so strong, and they don't even know how to explain to them that their daddy ain't gonna be here no more. To carry to the beach and to play football with, it's real hard. But we can go get through it somehow.
Another accident involving a motor car occurred along the Barrow section of the ABC highway near the Norman Niles roundabout at 5 minutes to 6. Police say the car crashed through some shrubbery and collided with a tree, killing front seat passenger 45-year-old Mark Griffith of Broomsfield, St. Lucie. The jaws of life was used to free the driver, 37-year-old Kevin Hines of number 23 Maycock Terrace in St. Lucie, and rear seat passenger 40-year-old Nicole Jordan of Hope Road, which is also in St. Lucie. They were transported to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Police investigations are continuing into the fatal incidents. Another blaze, the second in just over a month at the old Ministry of Health complex on Jemmets Lane, the city, has added to the growing concerns of residents of a neighboring community. Kishmar Singis visited the scene and filed this report.
There's consensus among residents of Bridgetown that the old Ministry of Health complex is a big health problem. And after last night's blaze, they have had enough. Video captured on cellular phones showed the fury of last night's blaze. Fire officials responded to the call at 12 minutes past 10. The section destroyed previously housed the emergency ambulance service.
When I first saw it, it just smoke that I was seeing. And I went up on the wall there. I smoke coming from beginning of the building there, part smoking, but they just smoke. For about 40 minutes I had there, I ain't seen no fire. But just smoke, and the smoke spread and went further down. But you think if I try to get there, it started to blaze from down there. Quick so, place it just beer fumes and all types of things from the asbestos that touched the roof.
My heart was in my hands. I thought it was all over from my house. And all my things, my expensive, important things. Yes.
So what your family did in terms of after the blaze?
We had to pack bags and stuff because we thought that it would catch the power line and then it would have burned down the house. And since the houses are so close, then it would have burned. And we also have burned real fast since it's wood.
I was at a fish fry from St. Ambrose Church, and we saw smoke out there in the area. So my godmother came and got me and said, "It got fire out, baby, it got fire out, baby." So we was walking, coming out, where you just see sparks everywhere, flaming. And my auntie girl, she come down in the car and was like, "Can we go, can we go, can we go?" And then I get the key out the bag, get in the house, and then like, take out clothes, take out suitcase and the passports and take out the house so we get like a TV so we could save in case anything catch the house.
CBC was informed that a team from the Ministry of Health was on site this morning. Residents have ideas on what to do with the old property.
Build apartments and leave where people get some place to live that about here. Because a lot of people want houses and these burning out there. A big lot of waste.
I like to see the buildings get knocked down so that it won't happen again.
Move the whole thing the whole block from bottom to top, even the part that them was working.
Ted Joseph of neighboring Cypress Street says the buildings at the old Ministry of Health complex have historical value and should be saved.
The structures of the buildings are generally strong. I would think that they would look into how we could take out everything and try to make it into something that could both support tourism as well as, you know, the community in a whole.
The last fire at this complex in April destroyed a section that housed the Barbados Family Planning and the Vector Environmental section. Kishmar Senjis, CBC News.
Thanks, Kishmar. In news from the region now, Guyana is marking the 52nd anniversary of its political independence from Britain today, with President David Granger reminding nationals of the importance of providing greater protection to children. He says independence must be valued and safeguarded, adding that it laid the foundation for a more inclusive and democratic society which will guarantee a good life for the next generation. He told the nation that the country's 52nd anniversary of independence is an occasion for celebration as it commemorates a departure from past degradation and articulates the nation's aspirations for present and future generations. Well, Anne-Marie Burke is standing by. She'll have the latest sporting action after this break. Stay tuned.